Chapter 1072. When Olivia heard this, she asked excitedly, "These gentlemen, are my father and my brother really released? Where are they now?" The man said indifferently, "My people have arranged them, you two can just go with me." Lady Richard didn't think too much about it. After all, she was already like this. There shouldn't be anyone who came here to hurt herself. What's more, she was indeed released on bail. That being the case, you might as well go and take a look, maybe there is a new opportunity. So the two went through the formalities, got their clothes and belongings, and after changing their clothes, they followed the man out of the detention center. Outside the detention center, two Bentley have been waiting here for a long time. The man turned his head and said to his grandson and son, "You two, take the car behind you." Seeing the two Bentley, Mrs. Richard was very excited. No ordinary people can afford a Bentley. When the Richard family was at its peak, they couldn't afford a Bentley. Even if he could afford the money, he would not be worthy of his worth and status. So the Lady Richard said, "Thank you, sir, then we two will sit in the back." After speaking, she took her granddaughter to the front of the car behind. The three people got in the cars one after another, and the two cars started to drive towards the outskirts. After the car drove out for 20 minutes, the Lady Richard said to Olivia in surprise, "I think this road seems to be to the airport." Olivia also nodded, and said, "You will reach the airport expressway after a few kilometers." Lady Richard frowned and said in a low voice, "I don't know who the gentleman in front is. Could it be that your father and your brother were also sent to the airport by them?" Olivia suddenly became nervous and said, "Grandma, shouldn't they be sent by Alex? Are they going to get us out of Orris Hill and never let us come back?" "Impossible." Mrs. Richard shook her head. "Why is that bastard Alex so polite? He won't release us on bail. On the contrary, he will find a way to let us stay inside for a while, even let we won't be able to get out all our lives." Olivia asked in surprise, "It's Sean Richard, right? Does he still miss the old love and want to take us to Westcliff?" Lady Richard waved her hand and said, "Impossible. If Sean Richard can still do what a man does, it might be possible, but he is already an incompetent person. How could he miss the old love? If he really misses the old love, if he did, he would never leave you." Olivia's expression couldn't help but feel a little sad. Although at first she was disgusted with her parents' and grandmother's arrangement to serve Sean Richard, but after thinking about it carefully, Sean Richard treated herself well back then. After all, it only happened once with himself, and he was able to invest tens of millions and give himself millions of pocket money. Thinking of this, Olivia couldn't help but sigh inwardly. If Sean Richard still has the abilities of a man, then I should follow him now, and I should be a fragrant drinker, so how can I live such a miserable life? Just thinking about it, the two Bentley drove one after the other towards the airport expressway, rushing to the airport quickly. Lady Richard and Olivia were even more surprised in their hearts. They were really going to the airport. What are they going to do?